Hey guys, welcome back to another awesome podcast episode here with P.I.O.T. Paranormal. Got myself Schuler, Jordan, Nate, and Ryan tonight. Sadly, Haley is not with us tonight, but that's all right. I know we were talking on our last episode that we tried to have everyone here, but things do come up, so that's all right. Well, I guess my phone dingling off. I guess I need to turn down that volume. So, with that said, we left off with our last podcast that we were going to have a investigation coming up the following week, which things turned out not to work so well. And that's all right, because residentials can be kind of weird, because you're dealing with people's personal lives and their homes. And, things don't always work out, but that's okay. So we're going to try to move forward with, new residentials, or just have to wait till winter ends so we can go out and do our public stuff and possibly get some private locations or something. But, let's see. So we were talking about cults and occults our last episode. And with the four of us tonight, I think this round we're going to talk about paranormal investigations as a team. Obviously, for those of you that know our team a little bit, we started, our team in 2011. And Jordan and myself are the only originals from that time up until now. And Nate and Ryan, Nate came on in 2017. Ryan came on in 2018, and obviously a lot has changed in the past, 8 years. It's been a while. I'd also like to apologize in advance if I sound a little weird. I do have a little sinus infection going on, and everybody else, they're telling me it's another disease, especially Nate. He's got his hazmat mask on right now. I'm just kidding. But no one's been infected yet, but it's cold here in Indiana and it's terrible, and it finally hit me really good, so I'm gonna have to go home and take some silver and gold water that Nate's prescribed to me and get some
gold water?
Not gold, but silver. I just wanted to say silver and gold because I thought it'd be cool. Zinc, it's on the periodic table. Nate told me that part too, but anyways, back to the fun stuff. So without me talking about my sinuses anymore, Jordan and I, we were with the team back in 2011. Obviously, I founded it, and Jordan was there, helped me out a little bit with the... Did you hear that?
That's fine. We're not starting over.
No, it's all right. We can start all the way over.
No.
I'm kidding. No, okay, hang on. We got this.
Founded it.
Founded it. I founded it. So, obviously, in 2011, Jordan and I, we were part of the original founding members. And the members that were with us at the time, they're no longer with us. And so a lot's changed. Members have changed, gear has changed, technique has changed. And with today's topic, paranormal investigating, it can be, simple to some folk, but to others it's like, what do you do? How do you go about doing it? How do you even learn to do it? How do you get the guts to do it? And I'm going to let Jordan chime in with me on this first part because, he was there with me in 2011. And then we'll jump to Nate and Ryan from their experiences and what they expected and how things have changed in the past couple of years. But 2011, Jordan and I, we had a lot of simple stuff. We had simple digital codec cameras,
camcorders,
MP3 player, $20 LED flashlights. I mean, it was simple stuff you could get from Walmart. It wasn't anything fantastic, but the fact remains that we still got stuff. We experienced some really weird phenomenon, and we were able to capture some of the stuff on the technology that we had. And obviously now, 2019, a lot's changed. We have better gear and equipment, more advanced audio and video, and we can see things that we saw back in 2011, but just to a higher degree, I think. Mm-hmm. But Jordan, from 2011 to 2014, that was like our amateur years where we had kind of crappy gear. We were discombobulated. We weren't organized. Even our website and Facebook wasn't really all that well maintained. But from those years, what would you say was the most crucial thing for us to have done as a team to get where we're at now? What did we do from those years that have benefited us to where we're at now?
Pretty much just staying consistent in what we've been doing in terms of, investigating and whatnot. I say just pretty much that, in all honesty, just keeping with it. And obviously not stopping. I mean, I know we took that break in between 2014, 2013.
It was from 2014 to
Mhm.
2016.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like 2 years.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much it. It's just consistency is the key.
You know, it even got to a point, like you're saying, like we didn't do anything for a
Mhm.
while. We literally broke the team apart. We stopped consistency. We stopped everything.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of our old gear broke, or you know, it just didn't do what we thought we needed at the time. So that kind of disencouraged us. We lost members. We got jobs. Our schedules changed. People moved. So it just kind of broke apart. So it's like, okay, maybe we're not supposed to do this anymore.
Mhm.
And you know, come up to 2016, I was able to get in touch with an old friend, Rex. You remember Rex? And Rex Cochran. And when he came back to the States, he wanted to go back to investigating. And I'm like, well, we don't have any gear. We don't have any people. He was like, no, it's cool, man. Let's just do it for old time's sakes. Because he came, you remember him coming on
Mhm.
as a guest and helping out with the team. And he had helped, and he wanted to reestablish the team. And he motivated me to get a new website, to update the Facebook page.
Basically, a whole new development.
Yeah, a whole new development, and that goes back
And then-
into being consistent. That's when I contacted you again, like, Jordan, do you want to help us
And then we
do
had
this?
to, we had to pretty much like, get with the times and whatnot, really study up on the materials in which we needed to get for a paranormal investigation again. Obviously not using camcorders, LED lights, and, whatever materials we was using at the time. Because you see people on, television shows like Ghost Adventures or Paranormal Lockdown.
Yeah,
I
Paranormal
believe.
Lockdown.
You see the equipment that they
Paranormal
use.
State.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You see the materials that they use, and we pretty much had to, do what they do. I mean, obviously we can't afford most of it. I mean, it would be nice having a night vision camera or thermal goggles, but
I mean, you make a good point. You know,
Mhm.
when you watch those shows, you do want to kind of compare yourself a little bit to
Mhm.
them. But we don't really want to be exactly like them. We want to be diverse in our own way.
right.
And I think from 2011 to 2014, everything that we went through with the crappy gear that we had and
Mainly
the
yeah.
basic techniques that we went by, it wasn't like what you saw on Hollywood TV, you know, but we still were able to capture weird phenomena. I don't want to say paranormal or ghostly because maybe we didn't, but we got things that weren't natural everyday occurrences.
You gotta keep in consideration too, like,
Yeah.
we was young at the time, like 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we were still
our
in high school.
Yeah,
you know?
like our finances were, not where we needed them to be, but we utilized everything that was pretty much in our possession at the time. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot's changed and it's still changing even
Mm-hmm.
now. And whether or not it's getting better equipment, I mean, it's great to get new technology, test out new things. But to go back and get like old camcorders, use an MP3 player instead of a digital voice recorder,
Mhm.
sometimes it's really interesting to be able to test things that you
Yeah.
started with to things that you're using now and still getting, the same stuff that you would get with your new equipment.
Except
or
the quality's
getting better.
just the
Yeah.
quality's just it's just more different and advanced, but it's like the old saying, never forget where you came from.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
And it goes back to being consistent because, I mean, we had so much to be something better every year. And it's gotten to this point where now we're doing a podcast. Now we're doing seminars. Now we're doing residentials. We're being able to go into private, establishments and investigate, which we can jump back and forth, from our earlier years, 2011 to 2016, But let's jump to 2017 because I want to get Nate and Ryan on this. Nate, when we met you in 2017, what did you expect from us as a paranormal team? I mean, you didn't know us as friends. You didn't know us as even members of a team. You weren't a part of the team. When you first met us, what did you kind of get from us as a paranormal team? Like, did you have any expectations? Did you have any, questions about the techniques that we used?
Well, I think that, when I kind of assumed that you would have like a full-on team
Yeah.
come at first.
Yeah.
But then when we officially met,
Yeah.
it was just you and Ryan at the time.
Yeah, it was.
And
Not our current
you could-
Ryan. Yeah, not our current Ryan. We
No,
had another
another Ryan.
Ryan Brunn. Yeah.
So it was a little bit different. What I was assuming, because the only thing I really knew was like groups from the TV,
Yeah.
like all the Hollywood TV shows,
Yeah.
and stuff you see on the Travel Channel, and I was assuming that there was going to be this full on like team coming in with like the same shirts and hats or whatever, and
Yeah.
you know, when you both came in, you could tell you were professional and like able to talk with people
Yeah.
well, and so I just thought it was interesting because I had never really, you know, the only time I've had the experience is when I went to Waverly Hills years ago,
Okay.
and that was like really the first official like amateur investigators that I ever met before I met like you guys. So
seeing average day Joe people compared to like a TV show, I mean, that's what networks kind of do. They have a staple of what you expect with the paranormal team. You know, I mean, you see all these people with the same shirts or these $10,000 cameras and stuff, and you see like 7 to 10 people and an additional camera crew that's following them around. And then when you have like a normal average day paranormal team that doesn't have all that gear, or they don't have a TV show, but they're doing the real thing, it's like, okay, that's way different than what I expected. But when we got there,
when you watch the show, you only see like bits and pieces of what they actually are doing.
Yeah.
A majority of it is like them having a conversation with each other, and it's like, to me, that, I mean, it seems like it's real, but it's really not. So being able to be a part of it, and, you know, not, I mean, we don't have a camera crew or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's just,
we kind of are the camera crew.
Yeah. Like, it's not, I think people think that it's more than what it
They expect more than what real paranormal teams are.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see too many paranormal teams like normal unless you go to YouTube. Because if you're watching on TV, you're going to see these Hollywood funded, sponsored teams that get everything that they want and need. But then when you have people that are doing it out of their everyday life, or people that aren't going to tell you fake stuff. I mean, I'm not saying all TV shows are fake, obviously. But, you know, people that might be more sincere, quote unquote, you're not worried about ratings. You're not worried about, you know, making somebody else happy. You're just doing one thing. That's to find answers to the unknown. You see them, they're like, oh, look, you know, they're dressed the same, or they don't have the desk gear, but the gear that they use, they showed me some evidence they got from a year ago, and that's kind of impressive.
Yeah.
So you do kind of get like a different mindset from that. And I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
When we investigated in 2017, did anything stand out to you during that investigation? Because you and Miss Joan and Kirsten was with me and Nick, which Nick was a part of the team at the time because Ryan wasn't able to make it. And whenever we actually investigated the library in 2017, did anything stand out? Like the way that we did things, techniques, or the gear that we used?
No, I guess, you know, I've seen some of that stuff before, like it was years ago when I got to go to Kentucky, but that, I think it was different because you guys had more stuff, like more equipment.
Yeah.
And I hadn't had experience with all of it. So it was, I mean, to me, it was interesting just to have that, like, firsthand, like, be able to hold the device versus, you know, someone being alongside of someone holding it and, like, actually having the experience to do it.
Yeah, you're the one in control of finding evidence if there's something there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. Yeah, because I thought it was pretty cool because that was our first, like, official experience being at a private establishment that had people that worked there that wanted to be a part of the team and kind of get their hands on, and we worked with everyone. So it was a really new and cool experience to us. And to be able to show people and work with people and get unbiased opinions, that was just really good for us. It was like fresh breath air, honestly. And, you know, Jordan obviously doesn't do investigations anymore, but we would update him. No offense, Jordan. I don't mean to call you out.
You also just said fresh of breath air.
A fresh of breath air? Is that bad?
Why? Because he's not doing investigations?
No, breath of fresh air. You said it like
a fresh of breath air.
That's what you said.
I did, didn't I?
Sorry.
No, that's all right. I'm glad you called me on that because I would have totally disallowed that to keep going and think I sounded cool. It was funny. A breath of fresh air, right? Yeah. Okay, I got that right now.
Fresh of breath air.
I don't really listen or care what people say, like, when they correct them.
Nate, thank you for not allowing me to sound stupid without acknowledging it. I'm going to leave this in because I think it's fun.
It is.
And it's worth every little minute and
second.
But yes, it's a breath of fresh air to have had that experience in 2017 at the library. But jumping back to Jordan, even though he doesn't do investigations anymore, because, obvious reasons in 2012, when you're provoking stuff, Jordan will still, get the updates about what we've done and compare that to what we used to do. And obviously, Jordan, we have new gear and stuff, and we sometimes get new types of evidence, or more clear. So, I don't know. I mean, are there any, can you think of like any different occurrences that we've compared, like since Nate joined the team in 2017? Evidence that we got from that time compared to like 2011 to 2014 that stood out like a difference, like EVPs, do they sound more clear? Does it seem like we get more of them?
Like, I feel as if, like, nowadays it sounds more clear because obviously, like, the material.
Better tech.
Like, the material we was using back then, it wasn't really as, advanced as it is now.
Yeah.
Because you have to keep in consideration of what we was using.
Of course.
So, we can hear things better, see things better. And, it provides us with more evidence instead of, me doing what I did back in 2012, provoking the spirits.
Yeah.
Because, I've done everything I can to try and get evidence.
Yeah. Evidence is everything, Mr. Childs. But at this point, I think we can kind of agree that it's not worth everything. So, jumping back to, our newer days, 2017 into 2018, eventually Nate introduced us to Ryan. And Ryan, he is super skeptical. Just totally cool. It helps us. I will say that in every podcast, talk to every person that I do, say that his skepticism really helps our understanding of the paranormal and possibly getting the correct answers. Because having someone super skeptical can really eliminate, false alarms, or if something's really happening and then Ryan's like, I don't know what the hell that is. There's nothing logical to it. It's like, okay, well, maybe we can start really thinking outside the box. So, Ryan, when Nate started talking to you about our team and, to get your interest, what made you actually want to jump onto the team? Let's start with that. What made you actually want to do a guest investigation with us?
No, I mean, I always thought the paranormal was interesting. So, I mean, to do an investigation, I thought it'd be kind of cool just to see what's it like, because of course it's going to be different than what you see on TV.
Oh yeah.
So you just want to get the first experience at it.
See what it's like compared to that.
Yeah, basically see what it's like, what it takes, what goes on.
So when you did join us, and your first investigation was at the Tunnelton Tunnel in Bedford, when you did the investigation with us, were there any expectations that you had that were met or that weren't met?
Nothing was met.
Nothing was met.
I mean, I probably got the lung disease because somebody didn't tell us we should have a mask because it was dusty.
Hey, I am just saying that was not dust. That was like some type of mist fog, and I don't know where it came from. And from the other
it's dust.
It came from
we're breathing in
the mass graves that were
cold.
I'm just saying though, the last two times that I had been there, we had never encountered that mist before.
When you walk on the coal, though, that extra coal that's fallen off the train,
So you think a train may have came through?
No, I just think that when you walk on it,
trains still go through it.
Yeah.
I don't think it was caused by a train.
You don't think so?
No, I just think that when we were walking in there, we were making.
Plus, it's humid.
But it was in there before we got.
And it was humid.
It was there, but then it was gone, but then it came back. But it was humid though.
And it was already there before we went in there. Remember? We were walking into it.
I pictured. I remember.
I don't know. I'm just gonna say it was ghost ectoplasm farts or something, but I don't know.
No,
I mean, we've been there twice before you guys came on, and I'd never seen that mist fog before. Yeah, and it was during the summertime too, and fall. Both
but it might be. Yeah, but I'm thinking it's more of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
That if it's so humid and it's cold in there, it's going to create something.
That is true. Yeah, I don't feel like it was really anything paranormal, for sure. I think it was a natural phenomenon, and it was just hot outside, cooler inside, and it was the perfect temperature to make that. Because like you said, when we went in the first time, it was coming through. And then we came back, it was gone. And then the second time that we went through, it came back again. So it's like it came and went. So.
Yeah. But
your expectations. Did you have any?
I didn't. When I went in, I was trying to be more like professional. Not saying you guys. I mean, you guys are professional too, but be like more, kind of know like what I'm like doing a little bit, but and then trying to take and like try to do some investigation, not just like sit there and watch you guys, but like try to do it or like take charge of some of this. Yeah, like I think.
When you say you're trying to like plug and play what you see on TV, but do what you wouldn't see on TV in real life, because obviously real life is way different than TV, and you kind of have to make decisions.
I think most of the stuff on TV is more going to be staged.
Yeah.
To where
like they're preparing for what
they're preparing what they're going to do and say, and it's staged where we're just going on with it. Yes.
Yeah. Going
Not
with
saying
the limb.
most of it's staged, but it just seems more of it's a little bit staged.
Yeah.
Just to fill in time.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They have to meet a certain like duration or whatever, but we're just kind of going out there doing what we can with what we got.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So what about the so that's your expectations in general. What about your expectations with like gear? Did the equipment that you use, did you expect to know how to use it? Did you find any weird things about it?
I expected for the EMF readers to work.
Yeah.
I mean, like on your first day where you feel like you're going to get something, but we didn't get anything. So I'm like, well, this is usually on the TV, they always get something.
Yeah.
But, going this way, like we didn't get anything. Yeah. So you're like, well, this is kind of rip off. And like, you know what I mean? It's just
I totally know what you mean.
You expect going in, like watch on TV, you expect something to come out of it.
You have expectations of something, and then you get something totally different. Yeah, I was honestly kind of let down with that investigation too, because like I said, I've been there twice with different people.
Because I think we just had the EMF readers and our cell phones. We didn't have, I don't think we had any other equipment. I mean, Nina was part of the team, and she was more of a sensitive, and she
well, she said she picked up stuff, but
but I don't think we had like any more other equipment that we probably could have used, or I don't know what. Could have used more, but
I mean, we did some EVPs and we took EMF spikes. We took pictures. But we didn't get anything back direct that we knew for sure was weird. The only thing that we got was towards the end of our investigation, that weird howl. That could have been like random people coming up, because we did have people coming up during our investigation. But
then they never
came through.
And
we didn't even see flashlights.
Anything else either.
No, because there were people there, but I don't think it was them.
No, they were gone.
I feel like it was like Coyote. I feel like it was, but I mean, it could have been a person, but I feel like it was Coyote. Because you didn't think so, because they would have done it more, but they don't have to howl more. They can just do it once and be done with it.
But you think they would have been dumb and not thought about their flashlight, and would have shined it in, and we would have saw a reflection of the light. So, I mean, it's dark out there. No one's going to climb up there without a light unless you have night vision.
Because I think we were in the middle.
We were like right around the
middle, and then, I mean, I don't know.
It was weird.
I mean, it was weird. Yes.
We should have walked out to it, but we were in the middle doing EVPs.
I mean, I guess the next time we do go out there has a camera.
Yeah.
Just a big camera out there.
Like a stand-up camera somewhere.
Yeah, or a small one stick out there to see if we get anything. That way you would know if there's somebody out there.
Of course.
When we're in the middle of the tunnel.
Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? This is good discussion. I mean, we're going back like a year and a half. And it makes sense, to think about these things. So if we do go back for a second round for all of us, it might better something for us. But then again, if we feel like it's not worth our time, I mean, maybe we'll get a similar location and we'll know what to do at that location compared to our previous. Like, well, we didn't do this, and this is a tunnel too. Let's set up a camera before we go in.
And I think what our team does well is, you see most of the TV shows, they go to the same places. One team investigates the same place, but next year some other team does the same place.
Yeah.
We might do the same place, but then we also research for other types of locations where it might, I never heard of being investigated before, or it might be investigated a long time ago, but nobody's talked about it since.
Exactly.
So I think we try to find investigations where people don't, or places where people don't go, the other investigators don't go to.
Yeah.
Or they're more like myths and stuff. We'll look at that, so just find somebody that's haunted and then go.
That's exactly right, too, right? Because I noticed something that we had, like a pattern for last year. A lot of the locations that we were finding seemed to be, obviously abandoned, but there wasn't much history to it. Obviously there's a bridge, or obviously there's a train track. But other than the little ghost story about a woman dying or a man, being hung or something, there's literally no documentation. So the only way that we could go in is, try to find something is by investigating. We couldn't go to a library and find something, or no pictures. And like you said, maybe a team did it back in the 90s. but nothing's happened since.
Yep.
But that is an interesting way to look at it, and especially moving forward in 2019, that could help us try to pick new locations.
Yeah, because we researched, and I think we have more locations that we probably wouldn't have looked at.
Exactly.
We didn't dig more in depth and find more books and stuff to find locations and stuff.
The last Unseen Press book had Spooklight Hill in it.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting
Yeah.
because I didn't read about it, but
You didn't find much. We didn't find much.
well, I know, but I'm curious to see what they say in that book. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
I saw it was in there, but I didn't.
have they discovered anything?
Because they like private bridges on there too. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's stuff that, like tunnels in there. So it's stuff we dug.
Yeah. But those are pretty notorious in Indiana. You know, everyone goes there. I mean, even when we've been to these locations, there's been a couple times where we had random kids come up and they're like, "Oh, you're part of Paranormal team? That's cool. We're just out here for a thrill."
Yeah, Step
Step Cemetery. Yep. Good times.
Are there ghosts here? Are there like so many ghosts here?
You got to remember, Nate. At times, ignorance is bliss.
That's what the girls sounded like.
Now, what if they hear this? They're going to remember us, and then they're going to give us a bad Yelp review.
They'd be alright.
Mr. Childs. Anyways, some people, they get a little ecstatic and excited, and they're used to TV shows, but when they see people in real life, they're like, "Oh, this is real. Real people do this."
We went out there during October, wasn't it?
I believe it was
Like
fall
more-
time.
Yeah, so we're going to go out there because it's going to be Halloween.
Oh yeah,
So of course they're going to go out there for that kind of stuff.
like any haunted location.
Yeah.
During Halloween month time, the whole month, people are going to be going to it. Yeah.
Because we did Elizabethtown during October, right?
No, we
That
did
was
that in
fall.
November.
But we did it twice though.
We did it twice. Yeah, because the first time I think was, in August.
Was it?
Yeah, the first time was in August because
That's why it was buggy.
we had Miss Kim with us and she had the bug spray. And then the second time we went, there's hardly any bugs, but it was colder, and that was with Kaylee. That was her first investigation as a guest.
And we got nothing. Except for Nate thought you heard something. Want to talk about that?
No, it was Kaylee and I that heard the second time. Nate heard it the first time.
Oh, what do you want to talk about your experience?
We can go back to that. Let's rewind it a little bit here. Because that was like one of your first. That's a good point, actually. Right? Well, and we'll.
Well, no, because this brings into the skeptic of it too. Like you can show your experience.
That's why I don't want to talk about
Well, no, there's nothing wrong with that though, because you can say what you saw, and you can say what.
Well,
I
now you heard
think
his
it
feelings,
was.
Ryan. No, for real, Nate.
Well,
Ryan
what
makes
did
a
you
good
got?
point.
No, but I want to hear first off. No, but I
Nate.
don't remember.
It doesn't.
I don't remember what you and Kaylee heard.
Well, the second
Nate-
time that we went, it was during fall, and Kaylee and I. It was when all of us were in front of the founders of Elizabethtown, their headstones,
You guys heard something.
and we were talking to them. All of us were talking to them, and we had the spirit box going. And like, I'm getting cold chills talking about it. And like, 10, don't you dare judge me, neither of you. Don't judge me. Like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes into it, good amount of time, we both heard something in our ear. To me, it sounded like, I don't know, like a whistle or a lullaby type of melody. But then Kaylee said she heard something too, but she couldn't make it out as like a melody. She didn't know what it was, but she heard like some type of weird sound that wasn't the spirit box. And it wasn't any of us talking. But we both heard it at the same time. We both looked at each other and reacted. And we have that on EVP too. And we discussed it. So, and that was really...
sounds on EVP or just you didn't catch it?
No,
on
us
EVP?
reacting to the sound. I don't know. I can't recall if the sound's on the EVP itself. It's been a while. There's a lot of EVPs, Ryan.
I'm sure it's in a dumping
It's
file
in,
somewhere.
it's in the archives, okay?
I would go through and just listen to it though.
Yeah.
Before you even do anything.
Well, no, because
Well,
you
I mean-
had it on the tombstone, right?
We had the set, the
Because
ghost
you
box.
didn't have one. Okay, so
But
we're-
I held
you
the
had-
DVR close to us. And we both reacted at the same time, and we both spoke aloud. I'm like, Kaylee, did you hear something? She's like, yeah, did you? And I'm like, yeah, I heard like a melody or a lullaby in my ear. But yeah, when it comes to the EVPs and evidence like that, I mean, it just depends on what you can get. Because like when we went for the second time at the Elizabethtown, we heard something you guys didn't. But we both reacted at the same time, and we spoke aloud
Yeah,
about it.
that happens
It does.
to
It does.
people.
And like sometimes you'll get it on your actual like tech, your DVR, and then you won't hear it in real life. But then there's times where you'll hear it in real life, but you won't get it on your DVR. Or sometimes you'll get it on both.
Or one person out of 10 people will hear it.
Exactly.
Because whatever is there only wants that person to hear it.
Exactly.
So go with your experience.
And then rewinding back to, like Ryan said, rewind back to our first investigation at Elizabethtown Cemetery.
We're not going to have a follow-up to this, by the way.
We already did follow-up.
Once I explain my situation, we're going to go on to a different topic. No comment.
No comment.
Okay. So the first time we went to Elizabethtown was toward the end. We were about to leave because of all the plague bugs.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. And we were standing by, I can't remember what headstone that was.
Schaefer.
Yep. And there was a tree behind us, and then a tree to the left of me, and we were doing an EVP session, and all of a sudden I hear kind of like something hit the ground.
Well, we all heard that. We heard that thump.
Yeah, but then
like a walnut or something.
5 to 10 seconds later, I hear behind me running, like shuffling through the grass, and I didn't hear.
There were some leaves on the ground, but there wasn't a wind like brushing through.
But that to me was that was weird because it sounded like somebody jumped down off the tree.
Yeah.
And ran.
And that was like your first investigation.
I think about that all the time still.
That was your first investigation? You heard something and had like a really, really weird experience, right? I mean, I know at the library we heard that.
But it was loud enough that I'm surprised no one else would have heard that. That's why I'm like, I wish I could have recorded that in my head.
Ryan heard it.
I didn't. No.
I'm just kidding.
I didn't.
No, you guys heard the acorn or whatever hit the ground.
That thumped.
But it was loud.
You don't think it was an acorn.
No, I think whatever it was.
When it fell, the acorn fell with it.
So you're thinking that the spirit threw the acorn to get our attention somewhere else, and then
possibly
ran away.
We don't know.
See, my thought process was the acorn fell because whatever it was, when it shifted from the tree, if it wasn't the tree, it fell down.
It was a butternut.
You think a butternut?
Yeah.
They're like those heavy.
That's a butternut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tree. Yeah. So that's why the acorn.
But that's why, I didn't want to believe I heard that.
I know, yeah.
And that's why I was like, I wish we would have caught that.
Well,
which it could be
something
on those EVPs though, because we were doing an EVP session at the time.
I remember listening to it live because we played it back, and we heard your reaction.
No.
You weren't recording? I thought you were recording.
We need to amplify that.
Or I was.
Something. Because that was.
I don't know. I don't remember.
That's
I don't know if I was recording. I know I see in video.
That was loud. You could. I mean, I heard it from this ear.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the ear where the acorn thing.
And then I heard right behind me, running through the grass, and that's why I stopped for a second and said, "Did you all hear that?"
Yeah. We didn't hear the second part. We didn't hear the shuffling of something moving.
It sounded like somebody running
away
through long grass.
See, my idea is if you heard what you heard, it was an entity. It fell from the tree, and as it fell, it shifted that butternut, and that fell with its weight. And then that's when it took off running.
That's why I was like, maybe something was there watching, and then went away.
Ran away.
It was a kid or something, I don't know.
I mean, there was physically nothing there, because we had our flashlights on, so we knew that. But you're the only one that heard it. I didn't hear it. Ryan didn't hear it. Miss Kim didn't hear it.
I can hear it in my head now, still, because you can keep those.
It attached to you that much. Yeah.
But that's why I'm like, I wish I knew. I wish I would have had something recording.
I had my DVR, but I think I was the only one recording at the time. Wasn't I?
I swear you were taking a video. Or I was taking a video.
No.
We both were. We were both taking
I
a
was
video.
just standing there and listening, and then...
Be nice to Nate, Ryan.
Anyway, that's
Nate
my story.
works really hard.
That's my story.
That was your first investigation that you really experienced something. Ryan is just making everyone uncomfortable over here tonight, and he's making it loud. See what I mean? You see what we have to do? So, I remember you saying from the library that you heard the freight elevator sound with us. Comparing that to the Elizabethtown experience, those are like your only two weird experiences you have, right?
Yeah.
And comparing the two, the Elizabethtown one stands out more than the elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it seemed like it was what it seemed. Why? I guess is what I'm trying
Because
to ask.
it sounded like somebody running behind me.
You
Like
think it's
they were
more
running
intelligent?
away. Like it didn't sound like an animal. It
Yeah.
sounded like there's a difference between trotting through the grass
Yeah.
versus
Bipedal.
shoes. That's what it sounded like.
See, my thing is I would probably believe more into the library because you actually have. There's actually recording of it.
But sometimes you don't always capture
No,
things.
we did.
You
I
hear
know
it.
we don't, but I'm just saying that we actually have recording.
Things can manipulate you recording it. Like sometimes things just don't want you to record it.
Get a corrupted file, or
Yeah.
you won't hear anything. Oh yeah. I see where Ryan's coming from though, because we have both investigations, both times, 2 different years. We got that freight elevator, and it's really weird.
I mean,
It sounds the same.
the one thing you do is go back to Elizabethtown for a 3rd time, and just to see if you. I mean, we need to get something more stuff.
I mean, it's weird because the dowsing rods seem like it kept us in that same area though. It never went anywhere different. They seem to be only
Well,
active
there's
by
a
the shaper.
limestone.
It was windy that night, remember?
Yeah.
But that limestone was. Remember?
Are we for
does-
sure there's limestone underneath?
Doesn't dowsing rods be attracted to certain
Natural
stones?
resources, they can. Water,
Yeah,
limestone.
Water, yeah.
metal.
So most of this are limestone. So
Yeah.
it's going to take you back to that one
It could.
that was
Yeah.
that we thought was limestone. For you know what I mean?
Yeah, dowsing rods can be kind of tricky to trust, for sure.
Yeah.
Unless you know where you're at, there's literally
I mean,
nothing.
it's cool to watch somebody do it.
Yeah.
But then I'm like,
You need some kind of back it up a little
can I
more.
see your hand?
Yeah. But no, I mean, going back to your investigations and from where you started, just being there watching us, and then experiencing the elevator, and then to Elizabethtown, obviously a lot's changed, right, Nate?
Mhm.
Like the way techniques that you have used, gear that you've used and experienced with. Obviously, the locations are totally different. So, back to you, Ryan. What about you? With your locations. Well, not just the gear, but like what would you say your best location is? That's an investigation that you feel that something could have been potentially not natural.
At Monroe House.
The Monroe, yeah,
'Cause we
Monroe
got the-
Mystery House.
Yeah, because we got the spirit box, and then we asked that question.
Are you talking about upstairs on
Yes.
the 2nd floor? Okay.
But,
Yep.
I mean, we didn't get it recorded, unfortunately, but I mean, because we got an answer back.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the first I thought. You know what I mean? That was there. So
It did seem weird because, like, obviously, I didn't expect for us to get anything. We hadn't gotten anything all night. And we're starting the spirit box for the first time. That was like our first spirit box that we had done for the night. And I'm just asking random questions, do you believe in God or our Lord Jesus Christ? And not 5 seconds into that, after I ask the questions, Ryan's over by the spirit box and it says no, instantly. That seemed intelligent. That was super, super coincidental, ironic, I guess. But what I don't get is even like 10 minutes into it, we kept asking questions. You did, I did, all sorts of stuff. We didn't even get a random answer like Charles or yes or dead or anything. It was just static. It was nothing.
yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know if we were asking the right questions or if. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of different. It was interesting to say the least. But I'm glad that you can at least say there was something that stood out, from your time on the team.
I mean, because that's the only thing
That's
we heard
different.
about. That's the only thing we got was from upstairs.
Yeah.
We didn't get anything else throughout the house.
We didn't, not even in the
We
basement.
got nothing at all.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Super weird. So, with that, Jordan, obviously, you've had a lot of experience. I didn't mean to keep you in the dark there for a while, but from your experiences, what would you say stood out to you the most? First off, what was your best piece of equipment that you used during your time as a paranormal investigator?
I have to say the EVP was.
So the digital voice recorder?
Yeah, it was between that. Well, no, I believe it might have been that because out of all the equipment that we had, that was one I would mainly want one in my grasp. And it was, my first time, playing with it pretty much.
Yeah,
So,
just trying to experience it and see if it actually worked,
yeah.
how it worked. Because, I mean, obviously you see everything on TV, but it's just kind of handed to you.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're doing it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to you to figure out what's real, what's not, and how to get it done, right?
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It just interested me a lot. Just using it and seeing what it was able to do. Very fascinating.
And that's something that you did really well too when you investigated was you got a lot of EVPs, and it just seemed like you were still enough to not move and get a lot of audio contamination, noise contamination, whatever, and you knew what questions to ask. It just seemed like you were really in tune when you did EVPs, and then when you reviewed it, you really knew what to listen for. So I mean, obviously, from your experiences and everything that you were taught and that you kind of taught yourself in the field, it really benefited you and it helped out. So that's good that you have that experience. And going forth with that, what would you say your most intriguing location was, or not just location, but the night, the investigation? What was your best experience and where?
There's a whole lot. I know we had a lot of adventures at Central State Hospital, but I'm thinking about that time at Crown Hill Cemetery, where before we had left out, we had asked like one more question, and we heard that fire crackling for about 12 seconds, and we even smelt the fire, and
I remember
that's when it pretty much stopped. I'll never forget that night, and that one night I got borderline possessed. I don't remember it at all. All I remember is being in the car, and that night where it was me, you, and two other investigators that we used to have on the team at the time. We was pretty much getting hit with inanimate objects that night. Like it was crazy.
I do recall that. That's what we call poltergeist activity, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Like just
malevolent entities.
And like random things being thrown at us, batteries, and that one night too. I'll never forget this either. Somebody looked as if like it looked like on the ceiling wall somebody punched through it, but there was nothing there.
I do recall that. Yeah, if I remember right, honestly, it was like something was thrown upwards towards the top of the ceiling, but where that object came from, there was literally no one in that area. No one could have thrown it from afar. Mm-hmm. We were all in a circle. We saw each other where we were at.
And it's like, how could anybody get up there?
Yeah.
Like, it really looked like somebody punched through that cell, and I was like...
And it was with good force, too. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just a love tap. It was actually, backed with pressure. Something, there's a lot of force behind it. But, yeah, I remember that, too, so... I guess for you, it was a couple of investigations we did at two locations, Crown Hill Cemetery and Central State Hospital.
I would have to say maybe Crown Hill Cemetery.
That stood out to you the most?
Because it was my first investigation.
Oh, yeah.
And, having that first piece of evidence happen, major piece of evidence happen, that'll definitely stick with me for a while.
I know it sticks with me. I mean, that's literally our first investigation. And we were going out looking for stuff. We had no experience whatsoever, and we got something. That was just awesome. And I mean, we really didn't know what to expect. We really didn't know what to do or how to do it, but we did it. And it's like, we'll never forget that ever again. And I still have those old EVPs to this day. I mean, I know we haven't really made them public or shared them a lot other than in our stories. But I mean, I hate to admit it, but we were very amateur and sometimes a little immature and silly. I mean, we still can be, but but I mean, we still have those EVPs to share with people, and maybe soon we can even put up like an old archive playlist on our website, let people hear stuff that we got when we were just a bunch of kids, looking for a thrill. And some of the stuff that we got is like grade A EVPs, and we really didn't know what we were doing, but we got them.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, so much has changed from 2011 to 2019, but I don't know. Nate, Ryan, you guys have really helped with the research in the past month. I guess we'll start with you, Ryan. Yeah, I know, it's exciting. What location are you looking forward to for 2019? For me, it's going to be Okefenokee Woods. I'm just going to throw that out there really quick.
That's if we get permission.
That's if we get permission. But I mean, they do hold
I
events
mean-
out there, so
I mean, doing the Memorial House again
yeah.
is, I think, would be good. Because we got more information this time by watching
Paranormal Lockdown.
Paranormal Lockdown.
Yep.
So we got more information this time around. With, but I mean, there's some like those local ones. There's like the werewolf myth or whatever that I never heard about.
Oh, Werewolf Hollow.
Yeah, Werewolf Hollow.
That's right.
Yeah, I think this is more like a local one. So
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of cool.
Some that were kind of like hidden gems that people don't know much about. It's like, oh, look.
Yeah, but but Okefenokee, like you said, it will be cool to go do that if we get permission. If we can.
Even if we can go throughout the daytime and just kind of get like a feel of the area, talk to some of the rangers, park rangers, or, people that go out there every day or something. That'd be cool to get their like expertise or their opinion on it or something. I think that'd be really cool. What about you, Nate? What are you looking forward to for 2019? What type of location?
Hopefully we can get into the state library,
Okay.
downtown Indianapolis.
Yeah.
But we're still waiting on that.
Confirmation on that.
Yeah.
Now, why do you like that one the most? What highlights that location for you?
I mean, the building has been there for just as long as the Central Library,
Yeah.
if not longer, and there's been a lot of reports of stuff there. I don't know everything specifically, but there was a group, I don't know their name. They were in there a couple years ago and caught something on infrared. Pretty, almost like a little girl in her face, almost full body.
So, almost a full body apparition.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that is kind of intriguing.
Yeah,
I hope we can jump in that.
like just random.
Yeah, came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting to get, to witness something like that.
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, if we saw that live, I don't even know how I'd react. I mean, it wouldn't be as freaky seeing it as a picture later, but if we take the picture or see it on video real quick or thermal, just to see that real quick flash of it, like, wait a minute, did we just see that? Is there a faculty member in here? Did someone get left in here? What the hell just happened?
I want to connect SLS.
That would be really cool. That is actually a team goal, is getting that Connect SLS system. And a REM pod. Be like 10 of them. Ryan, I didn't ask you that. Well,
One for each member.
Everyone holds it out. Like the Holy Grail.
What? REM pod.
On guard. Ryan, I didn't ask you specifically. Why the locations that you picked for 2019? What stands out about them? Well, why is that what, makes you tick on it? What's so special about it? You want to see a werewolf? Okay. That's pretty much me, man. I'm hairier than everyone in here combined. But...
That's great, Schuler.
Well, I mean, you see my arm hair? Look at that.
That's fine.
A werewolf. Not natural. Should have skin, not hair. That's what humans are. Right? No?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, you want to see werewolves, a real werewolf. What else? What else stands out? Like Okefenokee, why that?
I mean, that one stands out because you have people who have been murdered there.
Yeah, very tragic stuff.
Very tragic, yes,
Yeah.
but it would be interesting if we were able to contact or get evidence, only because we know that we have newspaper articles that people have been
To verify that.
yeah. murdered or killed there.
And there's also been allegations too that people that go to the spot where the murders happened, if you're able to park your car close to that area, the people that are giving these allegations say that their door handles would be like being jiggled with, someone trying to get to the car frantically, windows being tapped. I mean, stereotypical ghost stuff. But I mean, that would be that's why I want to go to Okefenokee, is to witness this possible poltergeist-like activity. Like, if I park my car in the middle of the woods literally nothing out there besides me and my team, and we know this for a fact. And your car just starts getting knocked on. You know it's not acorns falling or branches, and your doors are like trying to open.
We can camp
That's
out
kind of
there
freaky.
and watch Blair Witch Project.
That sounds terrible.
You want to do that?
No.
Why?
Watch Blair Witch Project on like a projector.
Why?
Nope.
in
Why?
camp.
Nope.
Why?
Because
Because why?
because I don't want to.
Because you think it's scary?
I just don't think it sounds appealing to me.
What about you, Jordan? Are you gonna go camping with us and watch the Blair Witch Project on a projector in the middle of the woods at like 2 a.m?
Better go.
It'd be like going like watching Jaws in the ocean.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Oh, absolutely
No.
not. I wouldn't do that either because I could actually die from that one. Possession's one thing, but getting chewed up by a giant fish—that's terrible.
What if you're just like in a pool
Still scary, but I do that one.
One could be summoned.
Yeah.
by Jaws?
A ghost shark. Yeah. I mean, people get scratched by human ghosts, so just say you wouldn't get chomped by a ghost shark. Not yet. One way to find out. You'll investigate the ocean.
Nope. See, okay, I was thinking about this.
Okay,
That-
what you got?
Has anybody ever tried to go down to the Titanic and try to do something like paranormal wise?
Like a paranormal investigation. As far as I know, no one's tried to, or at
Could
least
you
they
though?
haven't shared anything. Honestly, I don't even think you'd have to go down. I mean, people died on the ship itself. So yeah, you could go down and do it. It is possible. But also, who's to say that you couldn't just stay on the surface where the ship sank? Because so many people were already dead floating on the surface of the water. That's where their last moments were. So, possibly you could just be out in the middle of the ocean and you're going to hear like splashing or people screaming. And that'd be terrifying. I mean, you're out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and you hear all that and you're in pitch black and there's literally nothing out there. And you know there's no sharks. I'm guessing the water's too cold. But, so,
Shoot.
just saying. I hate sharks.
I mean, that would be something cool to try, or have
Yeah.
someone else try to see if that can actually work.
Yeah.
Or if you actually get something. I mean, it'd be
It's-
just like going
it's an
to
experiment.
like for Gettysburg.
Yeah.
Only just in the water.
Exactly. Yeah, because something super tragic happened. So many people died. It was so quick, too. You know, I mean, who's to say that something would happen? That's actually really intriguing. You know? I mean, it's just having to afford to get a boat out there.
What to call James?
Yeah. If they'll set us up. Be kind of cool.
Nick Groff for this.
Yes, Nick Groff, shout out to you. Do a project with us. Nick Groff, P.I.O.T. in the Titanic investigation. 2020. If you're free, because I know you're on tour and stuff, but yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Jordan, did we talk to you yet about your favorite investigation for 2019? I don't think we have.
Jordan has a pillow
Jordan is a pillow right now.
and a blanket.
Jordan, I know you don't do investigations, but you help us research a little bit, and you give us some suggestions on what you think about. So, for 2019, what investigation do you think will be most beneficial to us, and why? Putting you on the spot.
I was gonna say that Danville House, but that's not gonna happen anytime soon, is
I don't believe so. Not for the moment.
it? 'Cause it's like what I was thinking about with the Danville House and whatnot. All the dolls that are there, you're left there, like you're left with them at night. Who's to say, like, what if like one of the dolls were to fall off, or, you know, I know this is kind of far fetched. I'm not trying to sound, skeptical or anything, but what if like a spirit possessed like one of the dolls, and
That's actually the idea, is that some of those dolls are possessed. That's why that Danville house is haunted. Well,
then the scratches that are on that one woman's back, you don't know where they came from.
yeah, the owner.
Could have been from one of the dolls. Could be from a spirit that you don't know if that's there, but is.
Well, it's also that there's people that passed away in the house, and that's why it's haunted too.
And then
So the land, the house, and the dolls are possible factors of why it's haunted.
I think that would be a beneficial investigation. In all honesty, out of all the investigations that you guys are gonna have this year?
I mean,
Because you already got enough information, and the people that live there, there's evidence of stuff happening because it's happened to them.
Yeah.
So
there is
If you
some
were to-
documentation on it.
So if you were to record everything, get all the evidence, of which I know you will, then burn the money, $1 million. We better get it. Nick Rob, you're listening. We need a loan. Tired of living in poverty.
Tell how you really feel, Mr. Childs.
I tried.
But no, for real, I know what you mean on that, Jordan, and I agree with you on that because this location is kind of unique with the dolls. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of locations in the world that have possessed or, items with attachments to it. But for us in Indiana, this is like our first verified, location where there's items that are known to have attachments. So if we are able, I mean, it's not a for sure that we won't, but if we are able to come out during early spring, late spring, early summer, who's to say that, once we go there, that something will happen, with or without the dolls there, we're going to get some type of answer, but hopefully that will work out because that would be a really
And then
unique location.
to bring it in a spirit box, out of all the spirits or demons that might reside in the house, you'll definitely get evidence that has something to do with that.
Yeah. I do have to agree on that. I mean, it would be a unique experience.
And
I mean,
then-
to be able to test out different gear and be in that environment.
And then, what could be done too is like putting a hidden camera where like the dolls are,
Yeah.
seeing if one of them will move.
Yep.
And commanding one of the spirits if they were to possess it or make noise in that room.
That would be a good approach to it because I don't know. There's just something about that home when we went to go visit the owners. There's something off about it. But hopefully we can because that would be a good idea to try to get some evidence. I think that'd be a nice take on,
Another interesting thing too is, they got a parrot that lives there. You know how parrots have a tendency to like repeat things.
Yeah.
What if it's repeating things that the spirits could be saying?
No, that would be really interesting. I never thought about that.
I heard screams.
However, that bird is very loud, like Ryan just said. It's a screamer. It hurts the ears really bad.
Could be the pain and torment that it could be the pain and torment
Spirits.
that the spirits dealt with in their human lives before they passed away.
That's very true. That's very true. All right, so going off with what Jordan was talking about with that location, I can see that the Danville house would be a really good location. So fingers crossed that we can actually do that. But the only thing that I don't think I really covered was the piece of equipment that I like to use a lot, which I've used a grayscale night vision camera, and I think it worked it works good in like close quarter locations, but if you're in a hospital, mental institution like I was with that, it doesn't work the best. But when it comes to it, night vision cameras are my ultimate favorite because I just like the feeling of being in a dark environment, what the alleged spirits are used to being in all the time now. So being in their environment in the dark, but being able to see, I feel like that's the best possible way to get something because there's no flashlights, there's no foreign, change to where they're going to be kind of freaked out other than you being there with your night vision camera. But that's why I like to use that because being in the dark, it's their natural environment and you're just there to observe. So that's my 50 cents on the gear. But I think we pretty much covered a lot for tonight. We talked for a good while. I know I talked a lot. I like doing that. I should get paid for it. If you would like to donate to our PayPal and Patreon. No, I'm just kidding.
Make sure it costs on it.
But no, we've had a really good night tonight with this podcast. I'm glad that you guys got to chime in a little bit. I mean, it's nice to go back to the roots and just talk about paranormal basics, pretty much, and it's nice to be able to go and look back when you first started to where you're at now with gear, techniques, location, how things have changed. So I'm actually happy that we covered this, basic information to some that might be pretty advanced and they like it, but whatever. Good stuff either way. We hope all our listeners out there, you're enjoying our podcast. They're pretty simple, down to earth, laid back, nothing too serious. We hope not. But everything that we talk about is strictly opinionated, and They are based off from our experiences. So try not to get too upset or think that we're trying to tell you what to do, because we're not. We don't roll that way. But maybe Nate, sometimes Ryan, depending on the day of the week. But never Jordan, because Jordan's real laid back. I'm kidding. But no, just know that everything we talk about is strictly just open talk. But if any of you out there that are listening would like to be on our podcast or know of someone that would, we'd love to have guest speakers. Obviously, we're going to jump back and forth between having guests on to talk, to us about their experiences, about their opinions, and techniques and methods if they're an investigator, scientist, or whatever it is that they do or like. But then there's going to be fun times like tonight, where in our last episode, where it's just us having a little family paranormal group discussion, which is really nice. But I think that's pretty much it. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, and also our website for minor updates and some fun follow-up information if you haven't already. Or if you like to, maybe you just miss us. I don't know. But thank you for listening to our podcast, guys, and look out for our next one. We're going to have some fun topics coming up, and that's another thing, too. If you have some topics or suggestions for us to talk about, also send that to us, and we can go from there and see where it takes us. So, as always, stay frosty, and we will talk with you guys next time.